So, welcome to the After Class Talk 2022 on the International Student Series Episode 1, to study abroad or not and how to decide. This afternoon, it will be a very intimate meeting because we have limited participants. So although have come to the end of this month, I would like to say still Happy New Year to all of you. So after class talk still present two main topics this year, the SDGs and also the International Student Series, inviting international student, professional and also academician to deliver a sharing session in any field of interest related to any of UN Sustainable Development Goals. In this episode, there will be a sharing session from students who will start their experience studying abroad and their idea and how to decide to study abroad. So I am Inda and I will be your moderator for today. And thank you so much for joining us today. And I would like to welcome our speaker for today, Meizan Arthur. Hello, Meizan.
Hello, Winda.
Hi. And also Bhawya. Hi, Bhawya.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi. And I also would like to welcome all the international students and our students from Indonesia. Welcome to After Class Talk. Now, I would like to tell you the rules of the event. Ibu Mefti, you may share a screen and I will read it for you. Okay, that's what. So all the participants should turn on the camera during the event. So thank you for those who already turned on the camera. All the participants should turn off the microphone during the speaker presentation. I may turn on the microphone during the open discussion session. During the open discussion, all participants can ask the question to the guest speaker or to other participants. So the participants, your question is not only to the speaker, but also to other speakers. So it's sharing session. For those who want to ask a question directly to the guest speakers or to other participants, kindly use a thumbs up in the icon and the reaction feature, or also you can use a raise hand. The participant can drop the question also in the chat feature as well. So there will be a door prize during the program. Thank you, Ibu Mefti. During the event, we also will give you 2 door prize to the winner who join quizzes next. So without further ado, I would like to invite our first speaker for today, Meizan Arthur Alfianto, a Telkom University student majoring in informatics. He is also an awardee for Indonesian International Student Mobility Award 2021. And now he is studying in the University of Twente, the Netherlands. So please welcome to Meizan. Hi.
Hi everyone.
You may share your screen, Meizan.
Okay, sure. Wait for a minute. Okay, does everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good morning, everyone from the Netherlands, or goedemorgen. Good afternoon in Indonesia. My name is Meizan Arthur Alfianto. I'm going to a little bit introduce myself. Currently, I'm studying in informatics bachelor in Telkom University, but today I have been given the chance to do an exchange program from the government of Indonesia through an IISMA program in the University of Twente, the Netherlands. For a few minutes, I will talk about whether to decide to study abroad or stay at home. and also I will share my experience studying abroad in here in this University of Twente, the Netherlands. Okay, let me get straight. Many people talk about how studying abroad may give you many benefits, and I pretty agree about what they said. Personally, I have no reason why I should not study abroad. For me, studying abroad is a life-changing experience. But studying abroad is not only about the advantages and the pleasures you might get. There are several considerations that need to be made. The first, are you independent enough to live alone? People sometimes imagine about all the fun activities that can be done in the abroad. But in reality, for me myself, to live daily in another country sometimes not as easy as it seems. In here, we are away from parents, family, friends. Um, in here, you will be forced to do things without the help of people. Uh, without the help of people you know, there will be no one that can you rely on except yourself. But yeah, if you have friends that study abroad with you, it may lift your burden half a bit. Also, students who study abroad are required to help to have uh, or be smart about managing money, because in here uh, there are several things that we need to save up to make not overspending or to make it no money for the next month, because whether it's you in a scholarship or you funding by yourself, is managing money is one of the things that you must need to do and be prepared yourself. So are you ready enough uh, to to do something like that? Are you independent enough to live alone? Are you ready enough to manage your money, manage your time? Mm, yeah, this is one of a consideration if you want to do a study abroad. Are you independent enough to live alone? The next consideration might be, are you ready to face a new culture? In here, yeah, you will rely on yourself when surrounded by people of different races, people of different languages, people of different cultures, and you also have to face a completely different way of learning, a completely different way of mindset, uh, complete, uh, completely different way of environment. You will need to adapt and experience a new atmosphere. Um, Indirectly, you will learn about everything from zero by your own. So are you ready to face a new culture? Isn't it challenging for you? The next consideration might be, this is a quite important. Are you ready to feel homesick? Missing home and family is very natural. Uh, it's very natural thing when you continue your education abroad. The distance is too far, so you can't often go home, right? It's different when you just go study still in Indonesia. You still can go back to home either by train, car, or anything else. But if you study abroad, it's quite far, so you never, you cannot go home like you just want to go home like it's in another cities. But if you feel homesick because you're alone in a foreign country, this thing can be handled just easily. Like if we live in the modern world like now, yes, it's like we can clear away our homesick with a video call. with our parents, with our friends, and other people that you miss. Um, the other thing that you're gonna miss, and it's not easy to overcome, and it's happening to me, is you're gonna miss the food. You're gonna miss your home country's food. Mark my words. Uh, yeah, I know people said that there might be a restaurant, your country restaurant in your uh, study abroad country, right? But I think it's not the same because they sell it in another country. The taste will be different. Why? Because they will match it for the local people's taste. So you're gonna miss not only your family friends, but you're also gonna miss the food. Are you ready to feel homesick about that? Yeah, yeah. Another consideration is maybe this is an optional consideration. If you move to the northern part of the earth, like me, I went from the equator in Indonesia and then go to the Netherlands, who lives in the northern part. Um, you might want to consider this question. In the Netherlands, the winds blows are not kidding. Sometimes when I walked down on the street, the winds really push me, and yeah, the winds really hard, the and when I walk, it just pushed me like, what is that? Something like that. And because of that, when in the Netherlands, when it's raining, there are rarely people who use umbrella because yeah, it's rain and then the winds will blow over, the umbrella will be flipped over and you will be flown by because you're holding an umbrella and then the umbrella is flip over and then you're gonna make a mistake like the the umbrella might be broken. But here, besides the winds in the Netherlands, this is my first time experiencing study abroad, uh, and it's quite challenging for me because the weather in here in the Netherlands, it's quite freezing. It's quite cold out there. From me, who came from the Equator, Indonesia, which has hot weather, uh, the difference between the hot and the coldness is really affect me. Well, um, in Indonesia, I usually wear a t-shirt, just a one-layer piece of clothes. But here, when I go outside to in the Netherlands, uh, I need to wear two or three clothes of 2 or 3 layers of clothes. It's not enough just only wearing a one layer. This is really cold outside. Um, like you need to wear an inner, you wear an outer, and then the jacket. You're like your body's gonna heavy from your clothes itself. Because yeah, you want to prevent the coldness from the outside. Also, until now, I have experienced 3 seasons. I came when it was summer, and then now it's winter outside. There's a significant change between the night and the day uh, on the on those seasons. When I first came here, it's summer. I surprised because when it's 8 p.m., while Indonesia should be dark, in the Netherlands here, the sun's still up there. And yeah, I confused. Is it really 8 p.m. at the moment? Uh, and, and now I'm in winter now, while usually in Indonesia, it's still bright at 4 p.m. But well, in here in the Netherlands, it's already dark. You it might become a burden since like you have 12 hours of working, but in here, the 12 hours of working might be shortened, not shortened, but you still need to do some work. Like I have experiencing going to school when the sun is not up yet. Yeah, it's the sun even not up yet, but the school is already started. So yeah, it might be confusing for some people because you never experience such a thing. Go to school when it's dark. You need, if you want to go study abroad, you need to adapt to this kind of change and be prepared for the weather and for the sun's movement. So, are you ready to study abroad? There were several considerations that I can give to you. However, don't let the things that I mentioned discourage you from studying abroad, because there will be many bad things and benefits that you can get from continuing your study in other countries. And yeah, benefits. Many people said that going to study abroad will give you so many benefits. Well, what they said is true. It's really happening. It's really happening to me, the benefits. And I'll try to sum up what I get so far. Yeah. First, I got new friends. By studying abroad, you may encounter so many people from various countries. You may have wider your connection with the people internationally. Until now, I have encountered so many friends, like from the Netherlands, Germany, Lithuania, Puerto Rico, Turkey, and many others that I cannot mention one by one. But it is such a pleasure to meet new people and learn something new, something different from them. Yeah, I got new friends, and this is one of the benefits that I like, because you have a new friends and you might change your opinion, even it's talk a daily conversation, or even talk about our own home country. Like, do you have this in here, or do you have this in here? Something like that. We kind like asking about some things that we never encountered before in our home country. Also, another benefits to study abroad is we can experience a new culture and language. On facing a new culture, learning a new language is interesting for me. And the culture from the Netherlands that I was impressed is with the Dutch cycling and appointment culture. Here in the Netherlands, bicycles can be categorized as the main transportation, because here people usually cycle to go anywhere, and they are always a designated road only for bicycles. In fact, there are more bicycles in the Netherlands than the population of the Dutch people itself. So yeah, it's everything is bicycles in here in the Netherlands. Also, yeah, as you can see from the picture, this is my friends from Telkom University also, who doing an IISMA program with me. We experiencing wearing a traditional Dutch clothes, and then we eating Dutch food and something like that. Also, not to mention about learning a new language. Learning a new language is not easy, but it's still interesting though. As time flows, you will do a basic your your host country language. Like for me, I'm a little bit maybe a little bit can speak a Dutch, like for self-introduction, maybe ik ben Meizan, aangenaam, dankjewel, something like that. Yeah, you will be experiencing a new culture that you never encountered before. Like Indonesia, the cycling is not a common thing. Like Indonesia, you use motorcycles, but in the Netherlands, you cycle everything. It's uh, it's not for healthy, but yeah, that's really cycling itself. Yeah, and you may learn the language, the local language here, to adapt yourself for the local. Another benefits that I feel is, I think, yeah, this is my opinion. I feel that I can manage my finances, lifestyle, uh, and manage time better than before. The most significant thing for me in Indonesia, I never cook. Either I buy some foods from the restaurant, something like that, or someone made it for me. But here in the Netherlands, I always cook. Uh, I cook because the food in here in the Netherlands is pretty expensive. So in order to save money, I have no other choice than to cook my own meal. Right. And this is the benefit that I like. This is a bonus. When you feel tired of studying, of course, you will tired of studying in one point. Uh, you may traveling. You can visit other cities to release your stress. Here, the University of Twente, where I study right now, is in a small town called Enschede. Uh, but sometimes on the weekend, I went to another place like Amsterdam, Den Haag, Leiden, and many other places to release my stress, uh, to yeah, to spend my weekend in another places that have a different vibe from the town that you're studying. And it's pretty good for sightseeing. Traveling may be a bonus and optional for you if you save your money, like I said before. Cook to save money in here in the Netherlands. Now, how to choose university for your study abroad? This is two of questions that I've been pondering of when I choose here to the University of Twente. First, where do you want to go? The first thing that you need to decide is where do you want to go? For me, I really want to study either in Europe or East Asia, but I think and I consider the language barrier. If I want to study in East Asia, I must learn the language first because sometimes they do not provide education in English. So then I decide to choose over Europe. There are many universities that provide education in English in Europe. However, the English language is only used around the campus. If you go outside the campus, people usually use the local language. For example, from the neighboring country, which is the Germany, they need to use a Germany in public places. But if you completely new to the Germany, then you will have a difficulty to understanding each other with the local people. So after I do some research, I immediately decided to study in the Netherlands. I found it interesting. The reason is because 90% of Dutch people can speak English. In here in the Netherlands, English can be said as their second language. So I have no worries if I don't speak or don't understand Dutch. But in here in the Netherlands, at least I can speak English while the local with the locals, and we can understand each other. Yeah, so the Netherlands does not have a significant language barrier as long as you can speak English. And then the second question is, what is your passion? The next thing you need to do is consider what is your passion. Now you have the country, Netherlands. And then you might ponder yourself, what do you want to learn? I am an informatics or computer science bachelor. Therefore, I try to find a university that has the same degree or the program that I want. And in the end, I found that the University of Twente, which is a technical university, and it has a computer science program. So I decided to study here at the University of Twente. Yeah, in order to, if you want to choose your university for study abroad, you might consider the place first, and then the place, the country itself. Does it have the program or the degree that you want? You might do some little research in here, and yeah, sometimes you might consider the ranking of the university itself, but don't think it too much. If you like the country or if you like the university, then apply it. You will need to try and error to choose a university for study abroad. Yeah, another thing is I want to share about my experience studying here in the Netherlands. Maybe especially in the University of Twente. In here, yeah, like I mentioned before, the class is full in English. Uh, it was delivered in English, and all the campus facilities were written in and provided in English. There's no attendance list in here in the Netherlands. In Indonesia, there might be an attendance list for each class. However, in the Netherlands, there isn't. It is up to you whether you want to go to class or not, and you don't need any permission about it. But it is a wrong choice, though, to not attend the class unless you have something urgent. And yeah, Netherlands is the top one who have a work-life balance. In Indonesia, even if it's on the weekend, students still do homework, doing some group project or something else. But however, here in the Netherlands, students will leave their work or school stuff if it's a weekend. They really use the weekend for quality time, either with friends or family. Uh, I have experienced something like this. Um, I asked my Dutch friends to do a group project on the weekend, and they really refused it. They said that weekends are not for doing school stuff. Well, it's different from Indonesia, right? Even if it's the weekend, Indonesian students will still do a school stuff, doing some project, doing some homework until midnight or something else. Well, but it's different in here in the Netherlands. People really set aside their school stuff or their work stuff when it's weekend. And yeah, there is no hierarchy in here. What it means is on the top right side, uh, he is my lecturer for the first module, and we have no barriers between the teacher and the students. You can simply joke around with the lecturer or even ask him or her to do a meal together with you when like, hey, do you want to lunch together? And you will sit in one table, you will conversation either the daily lives conversation or the academic conversation. It is up to you. And you can contact them whenever you want. You ask your lecturer or the teacher, you act him or her, you um, act him like it's your friends, not as a lecturer or the teacher, because there's no barrier in here. But yeah, you still need to respect each other because yeah, he or she, even though uh, he or she is still older than you, right? So you still need a respect and a polite, uh, have a polite manner to each other. Yeah, this is the experience of me studying abroad. That have a different thing from Indonesia. Uh, this is my tips and trick to get a scholarship for study abroad. Maybe this is a more general thing, but the general thing it's really applied for me. Um, First, you need to maintain and have a good grade. Yeah, grade is very important to the scholarship provider. In this case, the GPA. Most of the scholarship providers set a general rule that required you to have a minimum GPA like 3.0, and the higher GPA you have, the higher chance you get the scholarship. Study English. To, to study to study abroad, English is a must. In order to prove that you are eligible to study abroad, uh, you need to have an English certificate, either IELTS or TOEFL IBT. However, those tests are not easy. You have to study more to get a higher score. Uh, the minimum score for you can attend a foreign university is 6 for IELTS and 78 for TOEFL IBT. Yeah, something like that. And another thing is have a good CV. Experience and skill are important. Not all people have the same experience and skill with you. This aspect can make you different from others. It will make you stand out more than the other people. If you have a different CV from the other people, you will be stand out like, oh, you have this skill, blah blah blah, and then you have this experience, blah blah blah. The scholarship provider might give you a higher chance to get the scholarship because they feel they believe to you, you already have so many skills and you already have so many experience, and they will believe that you will do well in another country, do well in studying abroad. And yeah, write confidently. You need to write an essay to apply for a scholarship. You need to describe and elaborate your essay with confidence. Yeah. You need to elaborate your essay with confidence. Why you deserve to get this scholarship. You need to write it. But do not exaggerate. Just be as honest as possible. And it will make sure that the scholarship providers will have a faith in you. And lastly, the last thing made the scholarship uh, want to test you is interview. On the interview, you just need to enjoy the interview. When conducting an interview, keep calm and enjoy the process. Answer the questions in a clear and concise way. So yeah, this is maybe a general tips and trick that you already heard from anyone, but yeah, it's really applied for me. So it is really uh, for me to have this kind of experience studying in the Netherlands in the University of Twente. Yeah, these tips and trick really useful. And yeah, maybe I speak too long. Maybe there are so many things that I want to share you but yeah, because it is have a time limited. So thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for listening to my studying experience here in the Netherlands. Bedankt and tot ziens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Meizan. A very comprehensive presentation. So what you have to prepare, you have to prepare yourself before you decide to go or not to go, right? Okay, let's continue to our second speaker, Bhawya. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can share your screen.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm presenting the same topic, to study abroad or not, but it is based on my experience and how to decide. So first of all, a little introduction. My name is Bhawya. I'm 21 years old. I've been living in Indonesia since 2009. Pretty much my elementary and high school year. I'm in batch 2018 of ICT business program, and I come from India. So the first topic is how to decide whether to study abroad or at home country. So when I was between my grade 12 and joining Telkom University, I met with academic supervisor, and he said that I have to do a SWOT analysis. So this is my SWOT analysis that I did during that time. I'd like to share this with you. So let's begin with the strength. What are the strengths of actually studying abroad? So the first point is international exposure, exposure in terms of culture, friends, food, and career opportunities. The next is learning a new language. I mean, being bilingual, especially in the modern era, is very looked upon. Like, you know French, you know Spanish, you know English very good, you know another language. That's a very positive, soft skill to have. A better resume, of course, if in your resume you have a degree from a foreign country or from an international university, it will always look good in your resume. And independence is more like, venturing out of your parents' house allows you to become, to find yourself, like what kind of an adult you can be without your parents' supervision. So that's another strength. However, there are weaknesses such as like homesickness, which is guaranteed. If you've been with your parents for a very long time, you will feel homesickness. A higher cost is because if you're living in your home country, you live with your parents. If not with your parents, then you live in maybe your relative's house or your friend's house. So living expenses there, then there's traveling expense, clothing expense, food, electricity, laundry, everything you'll have to consider as a independent adult. Longer traveling time, because when you're in your home country, you don't really travel international. Maybe you do it once in a year, you visit some kind of country that you have been wishing to go to. But if you're away from your family, I'm sure every summer holidays you're going to go back. So sometimes, like, from here to Indonesia, I have to like travel for more than 12 hours. So it's a long traveling and hectic plane ride every year to go through. So you have to think of that also. Family will miss you, you will miss your family. Again, homesickness. And more thing is that, like I mentioned before, laundry, grocery, personal care, emotional, moral support, we get all this from our parents, our relatives, our friends. We don't realize we're getting it, but we are actually getting it. And when we are living abroad, we have to manage all this alone. You will not have emotional stability or mental stability if you're living alone, and you cannot do it without your parents. So that is another weakness that you have to consider. Opportunities, same like strength, you will have a better salary, because I'm saying this from personal experience. I can say that in India, if you have a foreign education, your value will increase. Like, they will consider you a foreign person, even though you're Indian person, but you will become a foreign, I don't know, identity or something. So your salary or your reputation at your work will generally increase. That's from my personal experience. Also, that For example, you have done your bachelor degree from a foreign country, you want to continue your masters or your PhD, so you will already be like comfortable in that country, and you can do your further studies. You don't have to go through the whole transformation again. You're already comfortable in the country. Maybe you can take the masters or PhD in your same university or in another university, so that becomes very smooth process to do. You can start a family. I've seen many people who come here for education, but they find a boyfriend, girlfriend, and maybe it's their future wife, future husband. You can buy a new home. So starting a family, multicultural family is also a good thing. You can do that. And I've seen that people are very prone to meeting new people. They want to meet new people. They're bored with same kind of people. So that's another opportunity. But we have to consider threats also. One threat that is really important, according to me, is language and cultural barriers. For example, you come from a very orthodox culture, from a very culture that you have restrictions, you have limitations, and you go to a culture where everything is free. There's drinking, there is dancing, there's partying, so there's like cultural shock, and you won't know what's your position, what is your identity in that culture. So there's a huge cultural barrier that you have to consider, especially if you come from a conservative or from orthodox culture, like maybe another kind of culture, which I don't know, maybe Indonesian culture, Indian culture. So you have to consider that, and language barrier, of course. There are higher risks, especially if you think of health, safety, and environment. Health, maybe you can have a sudden illness like diabetes or something. It can happen anytime in your life. You cannot predict it. Or you can have an accidental injury, maybe. I mean, this is like a rare chance, but it's possible. So you must consider it. Safety, I think some countries are not safe for women, or some countries are not safe for LGBTQ. Like if you consider the new normal, there's LGBTQ, there's women safety, children safety, senior citizen safety. You have to consider how much safe is that country for you. Like for example, Bangladesh or Afghanistan is not much safe for women according to the statistics. So you have to consider all these kind of safeties, and points like natural disaster, political unrest is very rare occasion, but it might happen. We do not know. It's more like it's not in your control, but you have to consider that. Also, visa issues can be like technical issues, or maybe like during corona in Indonesia, Indonesian government is not giving visa, and if you're stuck in Indonesia, how do you go back? And if you want to go back also, then you have to go through all that process again. So that is another thing to consider. So once you have conducted your own SWOT analysis, you will have maybe a clear picture, maybe not a decision that okay, I want to study, or I want to study here, or I want to go out. Maybe you won't have that, but you will have a clear picture in your mind that if I want to go out, what kind of cons or what kind of risk that I will be taking. And you can just do like a balance of benefits and risk analysis, and you can like decide, okay, maybe I'll go out, maybe not now, maybe in future. So that's SWOT analysis will give you a more clearer picture. So if you have decided that you want to study abroad, how do you choose the university? I think I can summarize it into simple 8 questions that you can ask yourself any time of the day. Question number 1 is, where do you want to travel? So you can think about the countries or cities you've always dreamt of visiting. Like people are like prone to like going to Paris or France, or I don't know, any European countries are really famous for traveling destinations. So you can try, maybe you can take off travel in your travel bucket list. Maybe I like Paris, I want to go to Paris, so maybe I'll look for education opportunities in Paris. Second question is, what do you want to study? So knowing what subject you like to study can make it really help narrow down your short list of study abroad destinations. Like some countries are renowned for their expertise in particular fields. Like I have a friend, her sister she finished her MBBS in China. I was really shocked, how can China be a good for a doctoral degree? But she told me that China is one of the best because they have world leading teaching, research, expertise, and machines and stuff, all that you need for a doctor degree. So China is really good for that particular field, and Japan is really good for technological field because they're very technologically advanced and they have more good practical experience. So you must look for countries where they have expertise in a particular field. Like India is very famous for engineering. Most of the Google's engineers come from India. So you should consider all these particular fields expertise when you're choosing a country, or maybe when you're choosing a university to choose from. Question number 3 is, what are the career opportunities like? So when we decide we want to study, we should not just stop like, I want to study this, but we should consider what about after I finish my study. So one thing to do is to look at the graduate employment rate in that particular subject area. For example, if you want to study engineering, what is the graduate employment rate in that country? How many graduates are able to get a job? Is it 10%, 20%, 30%? You should consider your options. Will I be able to get a job in the industry if I graduate from so and so university? That's another thing to look out for. Question number 4 is, where are you from? So world is getting smaller as technology is advancing, so you can study anywhere. It doesn't matter what your nationality is. However, international agreements between your home country and other nations could make the application process easier. For example, Indonesians going to Singapore, Indonesians going to Malaysia, they do not need a specific visa. But Indians going to Malaysia, I need to apply for visa, and that itself has a huge lengthy process to go through. So maybe you want to look in countries like, if you're from Indonesia, you want to look at countries who have a good relation with Indonesia. Like Indonesia has a good relation with Pakistan, and Indonesia has a good relation with China. So it means that your application process can become a little less hustler, a little less, it can become more smooth if you go to countries with good national terms between your own country. Next is, what language do you speak? So I know that you maybe if you're from Asia and you go to Europe, you won't be able to speak their local dialect. But I think it's good if you understand a little bit. Like for example, if you're Indonesian, but somewhere down your line, maybe your grandmother or great grandmother is Chinese, so you understand a little bit of Chinese dialect, or you can read Chinese. So when you go to Singapore, I know Singaporean have a multi-diversity, but Singaporeans are more of the Singaporeans are Chinese. So when you go there, maybe you can read the menu, maybe you can understand small gestures of Chinese people over there. So it will make your simple task much easier if you can understand a little bit of local dialect of the country that you have chosen. Next is, what are the costs? So in here, you really need to consider your lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do you eat? Do you eat luxury food? Do you wear luxury clothes? Or are you more of a simple person? Are you more introvert? What kind of life do you live in your home country? You have to consider that, because exchange rate would play over here. I mean, if you're I don't know, if your expenses in a month in Indonesia is maybe 10 juta, 15 juta, if you exchange it into the foreign currency where you're gonna go, maybe in Europe or something, I mean, you need to consider that maybe the 10 juta, 15 juta will not be enough over there for your maintaining your lifestyle. So are you able to to finance the budget if you go there? So actually having a clear picture of your budget is really important, according to me. Next is, will you have a support network? So support network is actually like friendly support network, like having access to friends, having access to your relatives. Do you have relatives living in that country? Or if not relatives, you have friends living in that country. Or maybe, for example, Indonesians really go to Netherlands. They really go to Amsterdam, because Indonesians really work there. They have like just before the speaker before mentioned that he has a student exchange over there. So you should look for universities which have more of international students, because you're more likely to find people from your country if there are more international students in that particular country. I mean, it's okay to make friends from different countries, but you need a support system, a friendly support system where you can speak the same language with your kind of people. So it's really important to look for countries, or maybe specifically universities, which have a huge international students rate. Next is, the last question is, what is the culture like? So I know that studying abroad will expand your worldview, but some countries social, cultural and political values may be completely different from your own. Again, if you're from an orthodox or conservative culture, you might not be comfortable in a more open liberal lifestyle. If you go to Los Angeles, the lifestyle is completely different over there. And if you're living in Indonesia, maybe if you're Javanese, not even Sundanese, if you're from Semarang or more like Java area, and you go to Los Angeles, okay, you'll be mind blown. You won't know what your position is there. Maybe you might not even agree with their kind of lifestyle, and it can become really mentally exhausting, mentally unstable. So I think you should really consider your mental health or mental stability. Like, are you are you able to adjust to the cultural change? Are you mentally that strong to, you know, accept those kind of culture? That's very, very important. That is like my number one priority, because your psychological health is very important as well if you're considering going to a very, you know, different culture from your own culture. So consider that also. I think that's it. My personal experience from, you know, living in Indonesia from 2009, studying Indonesia, my elementary school, high school, and then now in Telkom University, I say that in Indian Indonesian culture are quite similar actually, despite the majority religion being very different, because we both come from the Sanskrit heritage. So I think the culture is very overwhelming. Security wise, it's very safe. Indonesians, whenever I tell Indonesians, you know, Indonesia is very safe, it's very clean, people are like, are you crazy? Indonesia is not safe. Have you been to India? You should go to India, because India is not that safe compared to Indonesia. So Indonesia is very safe for women, it's safe for senior citizens, it's safe for kids. So I think that security wise, Indonesia is very safe according to my experience. Acceptance rate is very high. Again, it's a benefit because I come from India, and the entertainment industry like Bollywood or even the television industry is really, really famous in Indonesia, especially in the Jakarta area. So acceptance rate of Indians specifically is very high in Indonesia. That plays a benefit for me. Comfort level, I'll say homely, because my parents live with me. I have been living with my parents since 2009, so I don't know like what it is to live independently in a foreign country. But yes, I can tell that comfort level is homely even if you're living independently in Indonesia. And I think that brings me to the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhawya. It's very also comprehensive, especially for you who like to study abroad for degree seeking program. Yeah. So we'll come to the question and answer session. So participant, if you have a question, you can ask directly to Meizan and also to Bhawya. Specifically, okay, Venica is raising hand. Venica, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Such a great experience from the speaker. And then I want to ask how to deal with kind of like unexpected difficult situation. Like, for example, you maybe lose your phone or lost on the road. And yeah, kind of something like that. And how to prepare ourselves in we are in that situation while studying abroad. Thank you.
Thank you, Venica. Maybe Meizan can answer first.
Okay, losing something in here in Netherlands. I have my friends actually who lost his laptop. Yeah, when she go by the train, that she forgot about the laptop in the train. Someone contact her through Instagram DM. Yeah, in here the Dutch people are really honest. Even though we as a student from another country, the Dutch people doesn't really care about it. The Dutch people found her laptop in the train and then contact her on a DM, and then yeah, they contacted to give the laptop back, to her back, and then she went to the who found the laptop, and then yeah, the laptop is still on shape. There's nothing harm about it. Also, if it's another thing that my friend already experienced is the phone. The phone, sometimes when you buy the train, it slip on the seat of the train, and then the people who found it at that time is the conductor itself of the train. They put it on the next station, and then the phone will be stay at that place until the owner came to pick up the phone itself. And yeah, there's in here in the people are honest, so there's no worries if you lost something, because as long as you have uh, the the phone have something to contact you, the phone might come back to you. But it's have a different stories if you go to another country from another country like the neighboring country in here in the Netherlands, which is the France. There's so many pickpocket in there. Yeah, you might be considered in the France that there's so many pickpocket in France, but in here in the Netherlands, it's safe for people who study abroad if you're alone. And something like losing some phones or something you have a problem there, you just can simply ask. You just need to ask, and then everything will be solved. If you lose your phone, you just ask the station, do you see my phone? And yeah, you will back. And then if you have a problems like I don't know what should I do about this, you just ask to a local, and they will be very welcome to you, and they will give you an explanation. Of course, it's in here in the Netherlands, they can speak English, so it's have no problems about getting lost, losing something, or having a problems. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so good to know everything is safer and it's safe in the Netherlands. So if you got lost, ask. Yeah. How about you, Bhawya?
I'm afraid I have not experienced anything like that so far.
So far, so good. Okay, so yeah, maybe different country, different story, but just to make sure that you have your belonging with your identity, so it's easier also for us, for people, if they found your belonging, right? Next, I will go to the chat. This is from Aisa. The first question is for Meizan. How do you deal with the curriculum change from the method of teaching in Indonesia compared to in the Netherlands? Meizan?
How do you deal? Okay, in here in the Netherlands, I actually study by 2 modules, while in Indonesia we do in 1 week there will be several classes for different courses. But in here in the Netherlands, for 3 semester, it will focus on 1 module, and yeah, 1 week for 3 months it will be only 1 course, and the curriculum change actually it's not really it's not quite significant different. But in here in the Netherlands, grade 6 from 0 to 10, 6 can be said as the higher thing that you might do, because the people in the Netherlands to get 9 or 10 is really what can I say? It's really hard.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
hard.
is it rare? Is it rare? It is hard, and it is rare to get a 9 or 10 in here in the Netherlands.
Okay.
The Dutch people itself doesn't really care much about getting 9 or 10. They think that getting a 6 or 7 is just enough, rather than you become ambitious to get a 9 or 10. In here, the Dutch people think that they just need to be passed, not to get a higher score, because yeah, it's rare to get a 9 or 10. But in Indonesia, you might can get a 9 or 10 score, and sometimes it's easy to get, but here in the Netherlands it's different.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
something like
what about the assignment and also the evaluation? Was it different in Indonesia?
from the assignment itself, the assignment have, like, sometimes in Indonesia uh, every day will be given a assignment, but in here in the Netherlands, before the curriculum set up, even before the course started, the assignment is already set. Like in this week, you're gonna need to do this assignment. This week, this already do assignments, so there will be no unexpected assignment. We already know what this assignment or what
For the whole
this
semester,
assignment.
right?
Yeah, for a semester, we already know how much assignment that we're gonna get. Something like
Okay. And what about in the class? I mean, you mentioned that there's no barriers. I mean, you get the feeling that maybe everything is discussion in the class.
yeah,
Here
everything
in
is
different.
discussion in class. It's really enjoying to be studying here, because it's like a two-way of two-way of teaching,
Process, yeah.
because uh, we not only do just listening, they even ask you about the opinion, not about the class material. They
Mhm.
like an opinion. Sometimes it's like maybe in here in the Netherlands it's still COVID, so sometimes we talk about the COVID itself, and then talking about yeah, if it's a class and you may talk about your daily activities in the class, even though it's in the middle of the class. So there's
Mhm.
no barrier between the class material or you're gonna talk about daily lives, because the teacher itself who attract us to speak something other than the class material.
Okay.
So when we came first, in here, wow, really, we talk about daily lives, not class material. So yeah, something like that.
Okay, it's very interesting. I think but that the differences that make you reach with the experience and also the academics knowledge. Yeah. Thank you, Meizan. So the next question for Bhawya, I think it's more about how you're adjusting the new culture to overcome the homesick and the different culture in Indonesia.
Actually, as I mentioned before, I've been living with my parents, so I don't know how to miss my family back home, but maybe because I'm close to my extended family. We have uncles and aunts in Indonesia. You have grandparents also, right,
Right.
from your mother's side, father's side. In India, we all live in one big home, with 3-level stories. Down on the ground level is your grandparents, then up you have uncles, then your room. So going from that to directly with only my parents and my brother, it was like missing. Something is missing.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's less noise. Why is it not noisy? Why aren't people shouting at each other for things like that? So yeah, maybe only that. But as she said that, what is that, how do you manage your finances while studying nutrition?
Mhm.
I think that's a different question.
Yeah, the first one.
That one.
How you adjust to the new environment.
I think because in Indonesia we have this Indian club. India has many festivals. If you watch the movie, you have Diwali, then you have Holi, where we spray colors and stuff. So if this is culture, music is culture, dance is culture. As long as you're on YouTube, you can maintain your culture. You can listen to Bollywood music, and you can keep up with the new web series. You can keep up with the new movies. As long as you're doing everything your relatives are doing in India, you are already familiar with their culture. I mean, I know some people who have moved to Indonesia from India. My age kids, Z generation, they have completely left listening to Indian music, and they have completely gone listening to American music. American trends. They are wearing clothes like American kids. They do not. They have become racist. They do not like the skin color of Indians. They like white
Right.
color because, and I go to them. I said, you're not living in America. You're living in Indonesia. Indonesia culture is really like India. They value family. They value food. They value sitting together, going on picnics. Right. As Indonesians, you can atone to that. So I think if somebody has decided to literally let go of their culture, you cannot do anything about it, because in Indonesia nowadays, if you go on Instagram reels, even Indians who are living in India have completely let go of their culture. They despise their own nationality. They despise their own ethnicity. They're ashamed of their own ethnicity. So I think it's more of a choice. If you really want to connect with your culture, you keep it close to your heart no matter where you go. So I made a choice from very young age that I want to embrace my own ethnicity. First it was really weird, because when I was studying in Indonesia, I was studying in, if you have known, Stanford School they have in Bandung.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stanford has a similar branch in Semarang. I was in Semarang for 8 years before moving to Bandung. So I used to go to Stanford. People were Indonesian, Indo-Chinese, and when we used to wear Indian clothes, they used to feel weird, awkward, like what are you wearing and stuff. So first it was really shy. I had curly hair and brown hair, so they're like, why is your hair not straight? Why are you, talking this way? Why are you wearing this way? It was very hard because you feel shy. You don't feel like you belong. But
Right.
slowly, I found my ethnicity. I found my voice. But it comes with really hard choices. Like, you want to keep it, then you keep it. But if you don't want to keep it, then you cannot do anything about it. So I think that answers the first question by, who was it? Yeah, by Aisha. Aisha,
Okay.
yeah. And
Oh,
hard time adjusting, no. Indonesian culture is very similar. They're very Indonesian people think from heart. They're like, they don't think from brain, they think from heart. So they're very accepting. Once people are accepting towards you, it becomes really easy. So no, I do not miss my home country that much. Maybe if I was living in Europe or America, I would have missed, because the culture shock is huge.
yeah.
But no, Indonesia, not at all, in my experience.
Yeah. So the culture of your host country also affected you, and how close you are with your family will also affected you, yeah, Bhawya, to
Yes, ma'am.
the culture. Thank you, Bhawya. So next, another question from Enda. Enda, do you want to ask yourself, or should I read it for you? Okay, I will read it for you first. For Meizan, you say that 90% of Netherlands people cannot speak English. I'm sorry if it's wrong. I think Meizan said was 90% of Netherlands people can speak English. So what is your reason for choosing the Netherlands as your study destination?
Yeah, it's
Meizan?
actually the other way. 90% of Netherlands people or Dutch people can speak English. So you have no worries as long as you can speak English. And then how I blend myself to the local community. Yeah, at first that the local community actually talking in Dutch. But if you ask politely, like, can you use English, please? Then the local people will turn it into an English. Oh, right, okay. Then they will go on and speak in English. So actually, how we blend, actually, I'm still having a difficulty to blend the local community, because why? They never initiate any conversation, actually. Yeah, it's always me or the newcomer that initiate any conversation to the Dutch people. Sometimes that I see that the Dutch people is quite pretty individualistic. So yeah, if you like in the class, if you want to uh, talk to your Dutch friends, you might be the one who initiate the conversation. And if you never initiate a conversation, so until the class end, you will never talk to him or to her. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so I think it's European culture and how private they are. But if you want to have a discussion or just ask. They will answer to you, right, Meizan?
Yeah, everything in here in the Netherlands, just ask.
Just
And
ask.
also, yeah, they might be a straightforward. If they say no, then it's mean no. You cannot
Okay.
ask anything else.
Okay. So thank you. Now we have another question from Bhawya. How do you manage your finance while studying in Indonesia as a student? Because as a teenager, you are easily attached to buying things. So how about you, Bhawya?
I don't think so. I'm a good person to answer. As I said, I do not have any finances to manage because my parents do it for me. My father is working in Bandung. He works for a textile factory. So finances, I mean, I am not independent financially. I am still living with my parents in their home. So if she's talking about rent, electricity, laundry or transportation, it's all taken care of by my parents. But I think I can answer her second question about attracted to buying things that I don't think, when you cannot afford it and you want to buy it now and then you're regretting it, that why did I buy it? Like if you go on Shopee, you add to cart every single thing you find interesting, and then you go on a shopping spree, killing spree, I don't know what do you call. I think sometimes it happens to even me, but I think I have this mantra that I follow is that if you take care of your present, you really don't have to take care of your future. So if you study now, you give all your 100% now. In future, when you're a bit older, maybe 30 or 40 plus, you can relax. That time we don't have energy. Now we have energy. We're young. We have energy. We have a good mind, sharp mind. We can study. We can hard work. We can even attract with people, because social life, socially talking to people is very exhausting. When you reach a point 35, 40, like my mother, she really doesn't want to talk to people. She's annoyed half the time because of her age, you know so I think that if you control your urges, or if you have a set mind now in your present, when you're young, you have the mental and the physical ability to do it, then in future your retirement will be very relaxed. It will be very calming, smoothing. So I think if you have the same mantra in your life, then maybe you can like not buy things that you don't really need now, because you need that money for your calm and what do you call, I don't know, safe and comfort future. So if you live by this mantra, I think it can help you. What's her
Okay,
name? I
once
don't know.
again, what's the mantra? If you
uh, I mean, I just need it. If you hustle now, if in the present when you're young, if you do it now, like hard work, and you study a lot now, then your future, you don't have to really work hard, because you've already done all your hard work now. You already have finances for the future. You have already secured your future, I think. So your future, when you're old and you don't really want to work, you don't really want to talk to people, it will be very smooth for you, because you already have done everything now.
okay,
That's
so
my
you
mantra.
take care of your present for your future. Yeah.
Future. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Maybe Meizan can help answer the question on how you manage your money. I think Meizan has already explained a little during your study. Maybe it's quite because different with Bhawya. You go there with the scholarship and everything.
Yeah, manage money in here, like I already said on my presentation, it's quite expensive in here, the food and something like that. So you tackle it by cook by your own meal, in order that can be save your some money. And then if you have to urge like buying some things like that, maybe there's in here in the Netherlands, sometimes like clothes, it's much cheaper than in Indonesia. So you have an urge to buy something, the clothes, but you must think first that if you really don't need it, then don't buy it for me. But but sometimes, yeah, I may be a little bit worried that I might not come back in here and I lose the chance to get that stuff. But yeah, to manage some money, like if you have a amount of money, you need to manage it. Like in this month, I would just want to spend this amount, and then
Okay.
you it's to make you have a a boundary that you will never have overspending. So for the next month you can live. In here, if you have no money, how do you live? Actually, you far from your parents. But yeah, managing money sometimes it's not easy as it seems, but you just need to make us priority scale, which things that you need, which things that you don't need, which thing you want but you doesn't really need it, which thing you want and you really need it. You just make a priority scale about it. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so plan, scale, and boundaries and control to yourself. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Meizan and Bhawya. Any other question? Maybe the last question from the
Me,
participant.
ma'am.
Who is it? Can I?
Rasha.
Rashad. Okay, Rashad, you
Yeah.
can ask your question.
Hi, Bhawya. How are you? Long time no see.
Hi, we're in the same
Um,
class.
um, I'm gonna ask about that. You were saying that you are comfortable in Indonesia with your family. Do you have any planning in the future? Maybe you go back to your home country to do a magister program or like start a family in Indonesia maybe or back to India because you said that you are interested in a multinational family. So what what is it?
So that's even in Bhawya SWOT analysis, right?
Yeah.
Family, girlfriend or boyfriend. Go ahead,
Yeah, that's
Bhawya.
why I'm asking that. Yeah.
Actually, my dad has many friends who have married Indonesian people, who have kids in Indonesia, who have become grandparents in Indonesia. So I think it's a scope, but not for me, definitely not for me. Yes, I want to do my master's degree after this directly. I don't want to work, but yes, I want to do it in India, not because I miss my family, but because what I want to study is only available in India or in Europe, in the UK actually specifically, and I don't think so I'm ready to go to UK yet. I still feel like I'm a child, I'm not an adult, so I need to go back to my home country, do my masters over there, maybe do PhD in the UK university which provides the course that I want to do. But no, Rasha, no family, nothing right now. Maybe masters in my home country, definitely going back.
Not in the
Well,
meantime,
good
Rashad.
luck.
So good, good luck with
Good luck to
your
you too.
the master and PhD, and then work, and then start the family.
Not
No,
really.
no, not really. Okay. One last question from Azin Rozan. I think this is from Meizan. What and how did you prepare to reach the IISMA scholarship? What kind of activities support you a lot to achieve the IISMA? And also, is it considered by IISMA?
Something that I really prepare while preparing the IISMA scholarship is the first one is the English certificate. Yeah, the English certificate is important because yeah, you live in another country who have the English speaker or the English as international language, and you might consider that studying English have a high score in the English certificate is an important one. The other things is that the essay itself, the essay that I wrote is actually like I'm telling about myself in a story manner. Like, yeah, when I in the Telkom University, I did like this, like this, like this, something in a story manner that you elaborate it, like you giving a story or tell someone through a speaking, not through a writing. When I write an essay, uh, those two things is the thing that I prepared the most while preparing IISMA scholarship. The activities that support, actually, to be honest, I still don't know why the IISMA itself choose me as the awardee. Yeah, I also asked my friends in here, they still don't know how the IISMA choose you as an awardee. But the things that you might consider is that in your activities that support you is that you have something to do with other people. Like I have been become a teaching assistant for 2 courses, so it might be a consideration since in here uh, you go study abroad and you will need to apply it to the people in Indonesia. So maybe me as a teaching assistant maybe have a privilege to give someone's lecture or give someone's teaching to someone in order to make my study in here in the Netherlands be applicable to the people who is in Indonesia. Yeah, maybe something like that.
Okay, so maybe I can add, since we will also start the IISMA program in 2021, Azim. So the first one, of course, the requirement for IISMA is your GPA. Even if the IISMA required you to 3.0 GPA, but last year, those who are passed in average is more than 3.5 out of 4. So make sure you have a good GPA and also English proficiency. Either it's IELTS or IBT or Duolingo. It's depend on the university that you will choose in the future in the IISMA. And I agree with Meizan about the activity. So the extracurricular, you can go as active as possible with your, it's not only in the campus, it's also outside the campus. You can choose the extracurricular for it. Because that will be one of the requirements that we internally in Telkom University will consider before we give the recommendation to IISMA team before you can apply. Another one for IISMA, if you want to know more, we will have a festival IISMA for 5 days, sorry, from 31st of January to 5 of February. So we will discuss a lot about IISMA and how to prepare yourself to be an awardee of IISMA 2022, yeah. So because this year there will be, I think, almost 1,000 opportunity for you to be an IISMA awardee. So Ibu Mefti has shared the link for the information about IISMA. You can also check in the international office Instagram, because we will update everything about IISMA in our social media. Okay, I think we have another one. Okay, thank you, Ibu Mefti. That's a very interesting discussion and also sharing from Bhawya and from Meizan. Thank you so much. I think we have, insight on how we choose and how we prepare ourselves if we want to do the study abroad. As also we mentioned earlier, we will give you 2 door prizes during this event. So we will play quizzes, right, Ibu Mefti? And it's easy. You just have to join the quizzes. Ibu Mefti will share in the screen. Okay, so you can go to quizzes.com and enter a join code, and we will share 2 door prize to the winner. The winner will get 100,000 rupiah in the form of link aja, OVO, or GoPay. So you just need send us the number after this. So you can see the participants. Okay. Okay, Aisha. Next. just go to quizzes.com and then enter your code. So there are 18 students and participants who can join. Okay, 6 students. Everyone can join. Maybe we can start at 8. Yeah, Ibu Mafti. Okay, we're still waiting. Meizan, Bhawya, you can also join. Okay, one more. Okay. So the code is 9635 and 93. Okay. Azin, Rashad, and who else? Okay. As I mentioned, there's 8. We can all start. So we'll get the 100,000 rupiah. Go. So you can check. Okay, bagus. Aisyah. Okay, Aisyah again. Let's continue. See. Aisyah again. And Azim in a second. You just have to answer the question. Okay, Aisyah and Azim. Balkis also. Anika also. Okay. Come on, Rashad. Okay. One more. I think two more question. Yes, one more question, I think. Okay, so congratulations to Aisa and also to Panika. So you will get 100,000 rupiah in the form of Link Aja, OVO, or GoPay. You just need to send us your number on so we can transfer it to you. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I think Ibu Mufti already, okay. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us. Before we end the sharing session, maybe we can take a picture together first. So everyone, can you please turn on your camera and we will take a picture photo taking together. Hi, Nusara, how are you?
Fine.
Hi. Okay, so Enda, Rida, Azin, Anas, Aisah, please turn on the camera. Shahman, Fabonben is or Bonifacius. Thank you, Azin. Okay, so we'll take 2 photos on my count. You can smile first. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can do your freestyle now. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much. So before we end, also we will share the feedback to get an e-certificate. You may find out the link on chat box, and we will still have more upcoming episode for the After Class Talk 2022. So don't forget to follow Instagram Telkom Uni to find out more about the info, and also don't forget to register. And now, thank you so much. I think we will end this starting session. So thank you so much, everyone, and good afternoon. Don't forget to fill out the feedback to get an e-certificate. So thank you, Meizan, thank you, Bhawya, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Meizan, Bhawya. Have a
Thank
great day.
you.
Thank you.
Miss Sarah, thank you.